Hello all, welcome again to EPM Confessions and Chronicles, or Chronicles or Confessions, whatever you want to say. So we've got Burak Beder today, and go ahead, please tell us your story.
Hey Tim, how are you doing? Yeah, so my story. I think my story with EPM started in 2004. It's funny to say it's been almost like 20 years, right? So it started in Turkey with Keysoft, and before that, like I did business intelligence for like a couple of years. I stayed at Keysoft for about like 3-4 years, continued doing EPM, got an offer from Paragon, and came and settled in Dubai in 2007. And since then, I've been in Dubai. I've briefly worked in government, but never stopped doing EPM. I think since 2004. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic story there. So I asked this question to most of the guests here, and it's sometimes very hard to explain to other people what we do when they ask us. Have you had any funny moments when you've tried to explain EPM or whatever you do to somebody else?
Well, there was one funny story actually. This was in Turkey. So we had a customer, and that customer apparently, didn't understand what we were saying when we said Hyperion. So we were in a meeting, and he referred to the software as Alperion, and I said, then we said, what is Alperion? What do you mean by that? And he goes, the software your company is doing, developed by Mr. Alper. So he thought, like in his mind, like this is a software, developed by Mr. Alper. We never had a person called Mr. Alper. So he thought, the manager of the company, his name's Alper, and he named the software after his name. So apparently he totally misunderstood the concept, but that was a funny moment. Yeah, I mean, I think it's always confused with like BI. It's always confused, sometimes with like when you explain to customer like what is planning Amazon, they confuse it with MRP, ERP. Sometimes it takes a while to really explain.
Exactly, too many abbreviations there.
Yeah. Sure.
What would you say is your toughest EPM challenge?
Toughest EPM challenge. Well, I think every customer is a challenge on its own, but I think the toughest challenge could be when we did a mistake, and legitimately a mistake, and that caused time, effort, and money of the customer. That's always a difficult conversation, right? I mean, this happened a few times, I think, in my career. Someone in my team might have deleted the data, unnecessarily, mistakenly, without a backup, etc. And this may have caused a lot of like, back and forth, conversation. Yeah, I think we faced.
Definitely. Yeah, no, complete. What's a memorable EPM success story that you have?
Memorable EPM success story. It must be, the moment we won a contract with Paragon. From Minister of Finance to implement, a countrywide planning and budgeting solution.
Yeah.
Because we really spent a lot of time, and that was, I was still, late 20s. I wasn't even like 30. And I think I really felt proud, when we won that contract. And of course, like completion of that project, I think felt very proud too. Yeah, that was a memorable moment, I guess.
Fantastic. Just again, what would you say is a couple of your career funny or unexpected moments? We have a few of these. I have so many of them. I think every day is a funny moment for me. But what would you say is a couple of funny or a funny moment that you have that you can share with us?
Well, I mean, now it comes to me funny, but when it happened, it wasn't too funny.
Yes.
So this happened actually before my EPM career, when I was working as a BI consultant. I was developing a data warehouse for a customer in Turkey, and back then, I'm talking about like in year 2002, 2003, around that time. Back then, internet connection, we used to work with like dial-ups and, very, very slow connections. And remote connection wasn't even a thing, right? I mean, so...
Yes, yes.
But I had to complete a task, and the customer had given me, an obscure remote connection to some, desktop PC, in their site, and I had to complete a task. So I connected on dial-up, but the speed was really so pathetic. So I was like typing things and then seeing the result like after 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So I was about to, open a notepad, all right? So copy a piece of text or SQL query or something, paste it and like run it. And, then I developed this habit, right? I mean, so because it was so slow, I was like, in my memory, like, following the keystrokes and Control A, Control C, paste it there, click, hit F5, run it, etc.
Yeah.
So I repeated it, and I noticed like then I'm watching it like in a slow motion in front of me on the screen. So the text is the screen changed. Like instead of copying the text, it opened the window of SQL Server like data transformation packages. Wow. And then I saw Control A selecting everything, and I think happened to press delete button.
Oh no.
So, yeah. So everything. Then I saw the message, are you sure? Because I had already pressed enter. Now I'm seeing the results, right? In slow motion. And everything got deleted, like right in front of my eyes.
Oh God.
Well, that was, I mean, now it's funny, obviously.
Yes, no, of course, no. We've had some.
But it didn't feel so when it happened. Seriously.
No, definitely. Yeah, so you're one of the best people in your field or that I've worked with or known of, definitely. So what piece of best practice would you give others out there, that you could give them hints and tips, especially for some of the newcomers or people trying to learn our field? What would be a good best practice?
Well, it's never too late. You can always go back to where you come from. I guess.
Well, that's a good one.
Well,
yeah.
No, I mean, no, I think a lot of people I knew from the beginning of my career are still doing EPM, right? I mean, so it really sucks you in, and I mean, it really gives you a lot of perspectives, and I mean, you can't really then think of doing something else, right? I mean, so because it's so engaging, it's so captivating. I think it really feels good. So what advice I would share? I think always be curious, always read, and I think the most important thing is don't be technical. Don't try to like know every technology, but try to understand concepts. Try to understand like your customers' language. I think.
Yeah.
So I think that would be a good idea.
Sure. Great. Now you do a lot of recruitment for your company, and you've done this in many companies in that sense. So what do you look out for in newcomers, or what's your advice for newcomers? I know you've given some advice in terms of what are the key skill sets you're looking for, or what advice you'd give newcomers to come to this industry.
Well, I think they should really consider equipping themselves with the best education possible out there.
Yes.
So you can always learn software, right? I mean, and I think we are moving into a new era right now. I mean, we are really moving, like fast forward, going into a complete automation, autonomous sort of like EPM. I think is the next thing, right? So I think learning technology should always be secondary. I think people really should consider learning financial modeling, financial reporting. These concepts, I think they're extremely important. Like processes, like what is a manufacturing process, for example? Like every manufacturing company follows a certain for certain process. So there are generic processes. I think they should understand all these. Be curious about them. Go to places like EDX, Khan Academy. There are so many free sources, right? I mean, be curious, read, explore. I think furnishing themselves with these, soft skills, if you will, so they'll definitely, contribute so much to their career.
Fantastic. Yeah. As you know, our industry, as you said, is evolving. Things are moving on, and there's a lot of competition with vendors, with consultancies. How do you keep abreast of it? How do you keep yourself educated or knowledgeable about the issues and things that's going on in the EPM landscape and environment?
Well, I mean, it really became too difficult to keep track of, right? I mean, like every other day now, we are seeing a new player popping up, and in every customer nowadays, I'm seeing like they're assessing X technology, Y technology, and it's really surprising. I consider myself always, someone, within this industry. So, I mean, for me to see a new name, a new product, in every other day, like it's really surprising. So I think it is really important to keep a tap on in what's happening industry. Check the forums, look out. I think your contents in social media, for example, I would really highly recommend people following you. For instance, I am enjoying a lot following your articles and your WhatsApp groups, for example. I'm learning a lot from you and the people you were able to bring together. I think we should probably be more how would I say on top of like our game, right? I mean, we should really understand the market dynamics, what's happening, who is doing what better, because every technology has advantages, disadvantages. So we should probably understand these better, right?
Fantastic. Yeah. Another question, really. EPM is evolving, and the whole climate is changing. What do you see happening in the next 5 years, from your point of view?
Well, I mean, I don't think anybody would give a different answer, really. I think AI is the next big thing, right? I mean, generative AI is now everywhere, and we started seeing this happening in like Oracle and like OneStream and like GDocs and Target. Like, I think everyone is investing in this technology.
Yes.
AI, I think, will be the driving force, but I think we are also a bit misunderstanding, because what people understand when we say AI within EPM space, they probably focus too much on like predictive planning, forecasting, etc. But I think AI has a lot more to do than just forecasting or prediction. So I think we are going to see soon maybe like some real artificial intelligence. And I'm hearing rumors like Microsoft is actually testing internally a technology. It's a rumor, but maybe true. I don't know. Which is basically going to crawl around your ERP and understand and learn your business and come up with like suggestions and human-like predictions, like human-like insights. Well, I mean, why not, right? I mean, so because
that's really interesting.
I think we will see this happening soon, and this is probably going to start threatening our jobs, probably. But still, I mean, I think it will be an exciting new era, right? I mean, I think it's coming. We should be ready for it.
Thank you so much. Question that follows on from that. What's your feelings about the current job market, the skills, the people that you see, and what should people do? I mean, what are you seeing? Are you seeing a change of the jobs, the job market, how we're doing things in EPM?
Yeah, I mean, there are brilliant people out there, and it's really interesting because it wasn't like that not so long ago. I mean, I think a lot of new talents grew and came into market. I mean, I'm seeing in my team as well, right? And so people who started as juniors, they evolved to become managers now. Some of them turned out to be like directors. They're managing part of the business now. So it's really interesting, like how the EPM job market and EPM skill market evolved. Not in so much time, actually. I mean, in the past, probably like 5-6 years. I mean, it exploded really. So the demand as well is increasing to EPM from customer side as well as from like consulting firms. I think freelancing market is also as far as I can see is booming. So I think it will keep on evolving until someone really, releases a true AI EPM sort of like solution.
Definitely.
That may bring everything to a screeching halt. But I think we are, a bit far from it right now, but it's coming. I'm sure it's coming.
Yeah. Al, thank you so much for this chat. It really,
My
was
pleasure.
engaging talking to you and everything. I hope you well and talk to you very soon.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you, Al. Bye-bye.
Bye.